the Congress of the United States, or at least the House of Representatives, in a bold move, decided to monkey with the tax code. Ooh, there's a surprise for you. The thing is, and you've heard me talk about this before, during the pandemic, you remember that? There was the COVID thing, right? You know, the flu that was going to take over the universe or the world or something like that, that definitely did not come from a certain country, right? Did not come from there. And if you just wear a mask and wash your hands, everything will be just fine. You remember that. Anyway, there was a program that said, hey, if you keep your people employed, you don't have to pay tax on keeping them employed. Because you may not know it, you may not realize this, but in order to employ someone in America, you have to pay a tax on the privilege of employing them, called employment taxes. And part of it is your FICA, you know, it's half of your Social Security paid for by the person who employs you. And this is true of small businesses as well as big ones. In fact, if you have someone working in your home, all right, this is something, this will come as a surprise. You know how you have that nice lady from down the street who's helping out with mom? Okay. You have to pay a tax on the privilege of having that person come into your home. And you say, well, wait a second, I'm not a business. Why do I have to pay, you know, why do I have withhold income tax and all the rest of it? It's true, though. If you have somebody working in your home, caring for your loved one, perhaps, or even caring for your kids, if they're not a registered business, you know, the tax ID number and everything, you probably have to pay tax on the privilege of paying them $500 a week or whatever it is. You have to withhold their taxes. Oh, all kinds of stuff. Well, anyway, that's just the way it is, right? That's if it moves, they'll tax it. If they can find it, again, they'll put a tax on it. And that's the way it is with employment taxes. Now, during the COVID, a lot of people, a lot of employers who didn't want to lose their team members, who wanted to keep faith with the team members, kept people employed, even though their revenue went down, even though the business changed significantly. Okay. And Congress said, you know, in a rare blaze of what do you want to call it? Common sense. They said, well, you know, if we got businesses who aren't making money anymore, whose revenues went down by 50% or more, or who had to change what they were doing as a business, all right, because of the COVID. It's got to be because of the COVID. All right. You can't just do it because you felt like it. It's got to be part of the COVID. But if you did that as part of the COVID, okay, we're not going to tax you on the privilege of keeping these people employed. Because we understand that if you're doing a different business now, you might not need these folks. Or if your revenue went down, you might not need them. But we want you to keep them employed, right? Because otherwise we're going to crash the unemployment system, which did crash, incidentally, and trillions, with a TR, trillions of dollars have gone overseas to fraudsters on the unemployment thing, right? Plus millions of Americans got played the game with the unemployment because there was absolutely no reporting. But the estimates are like $2 trillion went to foreigners, you know, foreign entities who were gaming the unemployment system. Well, anyway, so they say, all right, well, but wait a second. If you're a U.S. employer, U.S. company, and you kept these people employed, you didn't fire them, or you didn't lay them off, you didn't put them into the unemployment system, at least we're not going to tax you on that. And if you already paid the tax, we'll give you back the tax. We'll give you a tax credit. In fact, we'll even give you a little bit more money. Not as much as you're paying, you know, half of it for the first year, 70% for the second year, but a maximum of $5,000, $7,000 per employee. Okay. So that was the COVID era tax program. Well, a lot of folks, no surprise, right? Because it was kind of confusing. A lot of people had no idea what was going on. A lot of the employers, a lot did. We did. But there were a lot who did not. And you can amend your tax returns for a couple of years after the taxes are due. Okay. So you had them 3 years. So you had a lot of people who are amending their tax returns because in order to keep paying people when the money wasn't coming in, they went to their retirement savings, the business owners. They went to retirement savings. And this wasn't big business, it was all small business, right? Doing what small businesses do, looking out for their friends and neighbors, looking out for their community. That's what they were doing. Okay. And they went into their retirement savings, maintenance budgets, wherever they could find the money. PPP, that was a government program, a loan, right? But that's what they did in order to keep people employed. Okay. Then Congress says, now that some employers, these small business owners, figured out what was going on, they said, well, wait a second. This is years later. It's like, I'm crashing and burning. My retirement savings are gone. My maintenance budget is gone. But there was this tax program. So I overpaid my taxes, basically. I overpaid my taxes during the pandemic, and now I can get some of it back. Well, if, if you're McDonnell Douglas, if you're the big companies, okay, this was all small businesses. If you're a big business, okay, do you think the Congress said, oh, wait a second, we gave you too much money, give it back? Do you think they would do that? No. But if you're a small business, a lot easier to do that. And that's exactly what's going on. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks before the new deadline, they said, hey, you thought you had till April 15th to file your taxes, right? It's always been April 15th. Tax law says April 15th. You've got till April 15th to file your taxes. And then they're like, no, we don't like giving money to you guys. Big guys, fine. Little guys, not so much. So what they did was they said, instead of having till April 15th, you'll have till next Wednesday, January 31st, to file your taxes. So they put it into a bill that passed the House of Representatives on January 31st, saying, guess what? You know that money you were going to get back because you overpaid the people, because you overpaid the tax man for keeping your people employed? Nah, not so much. And they did that. It's supposed to be a whole nother year. It's supposed to go till April 15th, and then a whole nother year where the businesses who kept people employed, that's the key here, right? This is not free money. This is not just, oh, here, just have some free money, right? Here, give me a $500 hammer. I'll pay you for it. And, $20,000 toilet seat. Yeah, fine. It's not like that. These are people, small businesses, who kept people employed during the COVID, which I know nobody likes to think about it. I don't blame you. I don't particularly think about it either. But the point is that all of a sudden, interesting times we live in, Congress was very blatant about who it likes and who it does not. And small businesses apparently aren't contributing enough. And so what they said was, they don't have enough votes or whatever. So what they said was, oh, there are some people gaming the system. And there are. I'll tell you about that when we get back. There are some absolutely outrageous fraud going on in the system. You will not believe what the IRS isn't doing to get the bad guys. But it's a lot easier to get the good guys. It's like anything else. Who do you think obeys the law? Right? We're going to have, gun control. All right? Do you think the bad guys follow the gun laws? It wouldn't be very good bad guys if they did. So when you look at, like, just for example, any kind of regulation, any kind of law you pass because it does a good thing, you can be pretty sure that the person it hits are the good guys because they don't break the law. The bad guys break the law anyway. What do they care?